4. Brian Shriver, 7 goals on the campaign. Richmond led by David Bulow, the 38-year-old who jumped in the cockpit in June, taking over for longtime manager Lee Calishaw. Scored 45 goals in his career for the team before embarking. For the home side, 4 permutations and personnel from Saturday's 2-1 loss to Bethlehem. Ish Jones serving red card suspension. Tucker Hume, Matt LaGrassa back in the mix, but a near must-win game. Gary Smith turns to Chris Tierpak to kickstart the Nashville attack.
I'm looking. Yeah, I got it. Yep, that's correct. Davis, Loyal, Bourgeois. Yep, that's it. I think they're in a 4-2-3-1. No. So
who's Aronson? 71 is Gonzalez.
Yeah, I think so.
Luis Fernando, that is. 71's Fernando. And Raul.
So, okay. So you want to go from back, left to right in the back, what we think it's going to be? We think it's going to be Yearwood on the left, which will be 3. 5 with the Shinosky. Roberts. So you can leave them there. I don't think it really matters. And then Gonzalez, we think, is going to be back there, 27. Who you have is Raul, but it's Gonzalez. Of course, we're guessing at this too, but I think we'll be closer than what that is. So we think it's going to be Bame, 28, and Troyer, 31. In front of him, we think it's going to be 11, Baldock on the left. Umar, 17 central, and Shriver, 21 on the right. And we think it's going to be Aronson. Well, it's not Aronson. It's actually Fernando, number 71. This is our best guess. Twenty-one Shriver. And that's the one we're featuring, too. All right. Look how big that shirt is on that little girl, holding Liam Doyle's hand. That's adorable.
Welcome to a city that is entering its first ever battle to make the USL playoffs. Nashville SC is running out of time. They desperately need all 3 points tonight. But here to spoil the party, one of the most historic clubs in America, the Richmond Kickers. It's a massive matchup tonight in Music City. It is game night for the Nashville Soccer Club, the finish line of the USL's marathon season within sight. Just 10 games remain on Nashville's schedule, and to this point in the campaign, there may not be a more important match than what we have this evening in Music City. Welcome to First Tennessee Park in the Germantown neighborhood of town. I'm John Freeman, joined by former Vanderbilt soccer coach Ronnie Woodard. Our broadcast tonight presented by Pinnacle Financial Partners. Ronnie, Nashville sits 9th in the USL standings. That's one spot out of playoff position. What do they have to do to get back on track after the 2-1 loss to Bethlehem?
It was a disappointing night for Nashville on Saturday, but they have to start brighter today. They have to start with more energy, more enthusiasm, and more commitment to an attacking brand of soccer. I think we've got to have effective flank play and quality box organization and really light Richmond up early in this first half.
We'll be calling the game from up here. We do have a third member of our broadcast crew. It's Nata, who's got some privileged information on our lineup down on the field.
That's right. Almost a month after joining the club, Chris Tierpak, number 26, is making his first start for Nashville SC tonight. I talked with Coach Gary Smith before the game about the spark that he brought Saturday and whether or not we could expect to see that tonight.
Well, Chris has spent the majority of the year in PDL, and I always felt that maybe some real work, and I mean that in inverted commas, a pro outfit in a very competitive league was necessary. He's had 2 weeks of good work. He looked sharp, thoroughly deserved his opportunity, and he took it. And tonight he'll start on the left-hand side in front of Justin Davis. And my hope is that we can see the same sort of upbeat, bright and purposeful display that we saw when he came on.
Definitely going to be excited to see what Chris Tierpak can bring to the game tonight. Back to you, John and Ronnie.
Thank you, Nata. We'll find out who will join Chris Tierpak in the starting lineups. It's one of America's newest clubs versus one of the country's most historic clubs, Nashville SC, in its inaugural season. Furiously trying to reach the playoffs tonight, the legendary Richmond Kickers standing in their way. Our Pinnacle Financial Partners starting lineups, an opening kickoff, 90 minutes of playoff intensity soccer. It's all coming up next from First Tennessee Park. First Tennessee Park ready as let's dive into our starting lineups brought to you by Pinnacle Financial Partners. The Kickers confide a lineup that makes 4 alterations to the 11 that participated in one of the darkest days of the club's storied history, the 6-0 loss to Lou City. Surviving the modifications, though, Brian Shriver, the top scorer.
The former NASL Golden Boot winner, Brian Shriver, he's got 7 goals and 7 assists this year. The prolific goal scorer is great off of the dribble with a quick release, but he's the most dangerous within 20 yards of goal on a set piece.
For Nashville, 4 permutations in the lineup from the 2-1 loss to Bethlehem. Tucker Hugh, Matt LaGrassa back in the mix. Chris Tierpak, though, put in to kickstart the Nashville attack.
Tierpak played his first match in a gold uniform on Saturday night, and what an entrance he had. He came into the match and ignited this Nashville team. He brings a different dimension and a new, strong dimension of having the ability to strike a ball from distance with accuracy and pace.
Well, this is it, the final 10 scheduled games of the inaugural campaign. Nashville, a team that is living life on the edge. A win here, and they go to sleep in playoff position. A loss to struggling Richmond, and they will toss and turn in their beds all night. These 2 hours, perhaps the most important of the club's maiden season. Decisive game underway with the whistle from Marcos de Oliveira, our central official tonight. Richmond, led by David Bulow, 38-year-old, jumped in the cockpit in June, taking over for longtime manager Lee Cowlishaw. Bulow, one of the top players to ever put on a Kickers shirt, scored 45 goals in his playing days for the team and embarked onto a career of coaching. Got his hands full tonight with a Nashville team that is hungry for 3 points. Richmond coming in having lost 6 of their last 7, including, as I mentioned, a 6-0 demolition in the River City against Louisville on Saturday. Louisville came in and dismantled the Kickers on their home turf. Nashville coming off a 2-1 loss to Bethlehem. It was the steal. We got the stoppage time winner on this field just a few days ago on Saturday night. Nashville in the blue, Richmond in the red. Nashville quickly attacking the offensive end. Nashville led tonight by Gary Smith, as always, who told us quite simply, quote, "We have to look at every single game as a must-win." 3 points tonight. Be a big leap above that playoff dividing line. It would put Nashville at 7th in the USL Eastern Conference standings. Right out of the gates, Nashville with the first Coca-Cola corner kick of the game. It's Michael Reed to take it. Comes in short, heading near post, flicked along, and punched away. Tapped even farther by Luis Fernando. Going to be a lonely striker up top for Richmond tonight, Ronnie, as Nashville using the entire width of the pitch, trying to seek out Chris Tierpak.
Yeah, it's a different look for Nashville from Saturday. You know, this is a more of a traditional 4-2-3-1 that they've come out in today, as opposed to the 3-5-2 that they played in their last few games. And I think it's because they're going to look to play with, like we talked about in the pregame, with a quality wide attack with Tierpak and Wynn.
Take a look at our Vanderbilt Health injury report. Taylor Washington was listed as questionable with a knee injury. He is not in the 18 tonight. One of the usual key cogs for Nashville, not available in a crucial match. 3 games in a week for Nashville. Head to Charlotte on Saturday as Alan Wynn, his cross is whipped in. Chance here, and nearly the opener. It would have been a breakthrough goal for Chris Tierpak. And in his first start for Nashville, showing venom early.
Oh, I love that lovely bent ball in from Alan Wynn. And Tierpak's timing of his run's excellent. He got there, got some contact, but he just went a bit wide.
Our official tonight, Marcos de Oliveira, officiated 12 USL matches this season, including Nashville's 2-1 road win at Pittsburgh. Gave out 3 yellow cards. Mosaic of professional experience across the NASL, MLS, and USL. Gary Smith making several changes in the starting lineup, Ronnie, but not tinkering with the center backs, Liam Doyle and Bradley Bourgeois. Kosuke Kimura is back in. What does he bring to Nashville Here's the right back.
There's an additional width factor now. Now you've got Justin Davis that's going to be playing wide with his feet on the touchline. You've got a lot of space for Doyle and Bourgeois to share central. And then now you've got Kimura and Wynn joining in to add even more attack and width.
Richmond has won just 2 games in its last 14 contests. It's Nashville building the attack from the corner. It's Allen Wynn trying to find a sliver of space. Allen Wynn low and driven. It's 2 good looks for Nashville. It's a Kroger replay.
Allen Wynn comes in, he beats the first player, and he had to pull up on the tackle a bit because it looks like he could have knocked him off balance and he was within the box, and that would have been a penalty. And it's a bit early for that type of defensive pressure. Right now, that's the last thing Richmond wants, to give up an early PK. But Wynn did a good job.
First move forward for Brian Shriver, Richmond's leading scorer this season. 7 goals for Shriver. Milan Roberts, hounded by Tucker Hume, big striker for Nashville, back in the lineup. Yearwood. Umar, lob over top and pick out Luis Fernando. Gonzalez. Longest spell of possession for Richmond early here in the 6th minute. Questions coming into this game, Ronnie. Who would Richmond play at right back? It's been a revolving door.
It's unbelievable. I'm actually still kind of grasping where each of the Richmond players have been fitting into this lineup right now, because there's so many tiny little nuances that have been changed with the game.
Richmond's defenders, Alex Lee actually left the team weeks ago to go to dentistry school. Put the team in quite a bind. They're low on defenders. In fact, they've pulled some midfielders back to defend, but it looks like Connor Shinaski will fill that right back role tonight as we see him on the ball now. Shinaski, 5 MLS appearances for DC United. Over 100 USL appearances, 20 games this season, but did not play in that outing versus Louisville on Saturday that everybody in red wants to forget. Probably the darkest day of the club's history. 6-0 was the loss against Louisville. Largest margin of defeat in Kickers history. Shinaski. Patient build up from Richmond. Braden Troyer in his college soccer in South Carolina. Shinaski recruited forward. Attack dissolves, poor pass. Keep up to date with Nashville SC all season long by visiting NashvilleSC.com. Access the latest team news, content, merchandise, ticket offers, promotions, and more. Check out NashvilleSC.com today. Matt Pickens was actually supposed to wear his all-red kit tonight, but Richmond's game jerseys and shorts were actually lost in the travel, and they had to bring out their red jerseys and red shorts, and Pickens reduced to his gray outfit tonight.
Well, it's a good thing they had a good equipment manager and packed 2 kits for the trip. That would have been disastrous.
Richmond was scheduled to wear white tonight, so rarely do you ever see 2 solid colors going against each other.
No, usually it's a light and a dark.
Lebo Meloto was hauled down. Be a set piece for Nashville. Bradley Bourgeois has ventured forward. Jury's still out on how good Chris Tierpak is in set piece situations. The new signing. Inserted by Reed. Towards Doyle. Popped it high, was offside. Flag goes up. It'll be a Richmond kick. Well, Nashville has won just once in its last 5 matches. At one point this season, Ronnie, Nashville had the longest unbeaten streak in North America. They were stringing together results. They rose as high as 3rd in the USL East. They have tumbled as low now as 9th. They're currently tied with the Ottawa Fury for the 8th and 9th position in the USL table, although Ottawa does have a couple games in hand.
Yeah, it hasn't been a very favorable summer for Nashville. If you really kind of look back, there was a difficult July. August has been filled with some ups and downs for the club. You know, the thing that I like, though, is no one's panicking. The book is still going on. There's more stories to read. This is going to keep going. There's a lot of time left in the season. Is this a must-win and they must get 3 points? Yeah, but every game at this point is a must-win and you got to get 3 points. But I love the fact that this team is still driving.
Now, Nashville wasn't done a whole lot of favors with the schedule this season. Had one of the most difficult schedules in the USL. But when they do play teams that aren't in playoff position at home so far this season, Nashville is 5-0 against those teams, outscoring them 10-1 in this building.
It's magical. I think everybody would agree with that.
So far, almost 11 minutes in, quite groggy start for both sides. Nashville had a couple good looks early and settled since. Richmond building from the right flank. Troyer teed it up. That's deflected and a save made by Pickens. Sprawling save by the goalkeeper.
I do like that look by Troyer. That strike from distance. So there's patient in the tack. Takes a good look. He's got a window. He keeps it low. It does deflect, which makes it very difficult for Pickens, and he has to adjust his body to make the save. But I like that look from Troyer. That was very dangerous and kept low. And when you do that, good things happen.
It's almost a mirror image of how Bethlehem scored on Saturday night on a deflected shot from that very same spot. It's the Coca-Cola corner kick for Richmond. Could have very well been 1-0 to the visitors, and what a start that would have been for a team that is struggling like Richmond. Second to last in the USL in goals. Just 23 this season. The team that is last is actually Nashville.
And they're 1-10 on the road this year. Richmond is. Unfortunate statistic for them.
Gonzalez. Punch along to Matt Bolduc. Bolduc in his 2nd season in Richmond Red. Gonzalez has run on. It's a dangerous sliding challenge from Davis. Had to be sure of it. Full purchase on the slide.
Good recovery by Davis and a great timing on that.
Doyle couldn't steer the clearance upfield. Another Coca-Cola corner kick for Richmond. Heading over to take it, Luis Fernando.
Looks like Pickens was just encouraging his team, motivating them a bit. They're a little bit flat. I think both teams have come out like this is a Tuesday night. Played games this weekend.
Got LaGrassa first to it. Touched by Schreiber. Chipped wide by Gonzalez. We're near Fernando. Gary Smith said there's no easy games. When speaking in cliches, he called Richmond a wounded creature. Expected that they'll come out fighting. He said, quote, "I've never seen an easy game yet." It's not in one right now. Both teams with clear-cut opportunities to score.
I mean, imagine being these two teams that are playing right now. Both of them played Saturday night. Both had disappointing results. Both of them really had 2 days of recovery and reorganization to get ready for their next opponent. You know, tonight is really going to have a lot to do with grit and just willpower and just a little bit of the mind over matter. There's no way physically possible, even with how good Stacey Daniels is, that our players are going to be as fresh as they would be if they had had 5 days off in between.
Stacey Daniels, the fitness coordinator for Nashville. Go through a thorough recovery regimen for the game on Saturday. They do a lot of pool work. They do a lot of cryotherapy, compression boots as well. It's a quick turnaround. It is fortunate, though, that they're playing 2 consecutive games on natural grass surface. It's not always a guarantee in the league.
And they're at home. So they didn't have the addition of a travel day in here either.
Don't miss out on any Nashville SC content, prizes, promotions, and behind-the-scenes action. Follow our handle Nashville SC on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and Snapchat today. Matt LaGrassa back in the lineup. Won a full 90 in 6 straight games until coming off of the bench versus Bethlehem. Ronnie, what does he bring to the table?
Athleticism and mobility. He's an active number 8 in the center of the field. He can play box to box. He can create and he can defend. You know, Nashville needs that type of mobility in there to be able to complement Meloto, and I think he does a really nice job of sitting in between Reed as a holding player in the 6 and him being the 8.
Fernando driven, and another save by Pickens. Well, Richmond came to play. 16th minute, their second good opportunity, and the second big save from Matt Pickens.
Fernando did a great job keeping his body down and striking again on target. This is 2 strikes on target from Richmond within about 25 yards of goal. Nashville's going to have to pay a little bit better attention to those balls that are played back to the top of the 18 because Richmond's just started to demand that attention from them defensively. They're going to have to step and deny those opportunities on frame, or Pickens is going to have a really busy night.
One by Kamura, Springs Allen win. It's a team picture of the Richmond defense. Hearted challenge from Michael Reed. Go back to the visitors. A quick reminder to the fans at home that this match is presented to you by Pinnacle Financial. Nashville 7-2-2 at home. The blueprint for getting into the playoffs is getting 3 points in home games, especially against teams below the playoff dividing line. Right now, the boys in blue with their hands full. It's Richmond trying to bounce back from a devastating loss to Louisville on Saturday. They've shown well on the road. Fernando. About who this went off of. It'll be a goal kick for Nashville. Some tricky defending for Liam Doyle.
Well, he had his hands full. You can see it right here. It gets a bit tangled. He's got his hands full. It's an odd bounce. They're fighting for position. And then in comes Justin Davis on the double. Right there. Quality defending. You always want to be in a 2 versus 1 position as a defensive unit.
Fernando, 3 goals this year. Sao Paulo, biggest city in South America. Scored some big goals. Scored against Charleston and scored against Pittsburgh. Those are 2 teams that are very difficult to score against, especially Pittsburgh, which leads the USL East and West in goals against. Turnover in the midfield. Bombarding forward is Umar. Bolduc reconnects with Umar, trying to return. Feels that may have hit the hand of Liam Doyle. Neither the assistant referee or the center official, Marcus de Oliveira, saw anything in it. And on a night where Gary Smith talked so much about Nashville having to start fast, they have warmed into the game. Meloto going down at the edge of the 18. Nervy first 19 minutes. Hume. Now Wynn. Hume's former college roommate at the University of North Carolina.
There's several Tar Heels on that field right now. Shriver's a Carolina grad.
Bradley Bourgeois. Kimura. Visitors dig back in on defense. Nashville will switch the point of attack. Justin Davis scored his first goal for the club on Saturday night against Bethlehem. Tierpak's service, low and driven. Gonzalez was able to draw the foul.
I'd watch that matchup throughout the day today, Reed and Gonzalez. It's already gotten a bit physical between the two. And I think that was Michael Reed just establishing who was the veteran on the field in that play right there.
David Bulow, the American, took over for Lee Calishaw, the longtime Richmond coach who had spent 18 years as the coach at Richmond. Remember, this is a kickers club that is one of the most historic in America. This is their 25th season of professional soccer.
Their GM is Rob Ukrop, who was a great player at the University of Richmond and took them to the Final Four, that men's program back in the day.
Michael Reed marauding forward. Trying to find a streaking Justin Davis. Over to the sideline. It's the same sideline that our Nada Taha is standing near. And Nada, what's the story down on field level?
I mean, I don't know if I've ever seen Coach this frustrated this early in a match. I mean, there's a lot of frustration coming off the bench, wanting them to keep moving, not be so slow, frustrated at the back line, frustrated at the ref. I mean, it's pretty heated on the sideline right now.
Ronnie, what needs to change?
The movement for, let's hold that thought.
Here's Tierpak in the attacking third. Trying to cut in on his defender. Was able to earn a Coca-Cola corner kick. Not much magic in the air at First Tennessee Park for Nashville. Perhaps they can bully a ball over the goal line on a corner. Liam Doyle has ventured forward. Bradley Bourgeois playing tourist in the 18 as well. The second Coca-Cola corner kick. You're still early in this one in Nashville. Michael Reed sending it in. It's Matt LaGrasse who tried to backheel it across the face of goal.
He had overrun the front post. The only thing he really could do was to try to flick it and keep it into play. And it was just not quite accurate enough.
Metro Council wants to hear your voice. Share your soccer story on social media with the hashtag #MySoccerStory. Cross comes in, destroyed by Kosuke Kimura. Don't miss Metro Council's third and final vote on the soccer stadium next Tuesday night at 5 p.m. Another historic vote coming up. It's such an important week, such an important month here for soccer in Nashville, both on and off the field.
Oh, it's thrilling. I spent many hours in a chamber meeting last night for the open forum. And it was, it really is so energizing to listen to the fan support for the MLS program and for the new stadium project. You just leave the environment feeling more and more inspired.
Nashville enjoying a spell of possession. Reed able to turn. Becomes the pivot point. Kosuke Kimura making inroads down the right channel. Real sturdy, organized defending from Richmond. Sideline to sideline they go. Nashville probing, looking for a seam, a crack in this defense. Have they found it here with Alan Wynn? Trying to cut it back inside and has earned the 3rd Coca-Cola corner kick.
So just to touch on the movement of Alan Wynn for a minute, he started on the right flank. He was playing central throughout that build-up, and then he ended up earning a corner kick off of the left flank. Others need to be a little bit more dynamic like he is right now. He is running a little rogue in his areas that he's running into, but at least there's movement from here. The rest of the environment's a bit stale, and there's not much intensity or enthusiasm in any type of the runs that are heading right now.
It's Braden Troyer who's slow to get up. This is a problem for Richmond.
He's coming off.
He's one of their glue players. Troyer leads the team in minutes, over 2,100 combined this season. His 4th season in the capital of Virginia, and David Bulow is going to have a decision to make here. Do you keep Troyer in? It seems like he's laboring and has been for a few minutes here.
Yeah, and Troyer's the one that actually signaled for the trainer to come on. He's having a difficult time weight bearing right now. It's his knee, his right knee.
Richmond preparing substitutes. We can see it way in the outfield of this baseball stadium. Medical assistance provided by Vanderbilt Health, and by the looks of it, it's a long shot for Troyer to continue in this game. On a team short of defensive players, what do you go for here if you're Richmond? They are low on numbers. They've had several players actually leave in the middle of the season. One to dentistry school, one to take a coaching job. And now down via injury, another defender in Braden. Oh, it's put on a platter.
I think it could have hit him and gone in. It surprised him a bit because see how quickly it dipped right in front of him.
Tierpak was signed less than a month ago. 26-year-old from Austin, Texas. Hopped around teams this season. Started with San Antonio FC in the USL, then went to the MPSL with Miami. When that season concluded, was signed by Nashville, and here he is on the ball.
Yeah, just to state the obvious, but Richmond doesn't seem to be in any type of hurry or playing with a sense of urgency to get that 11th player in.
It's a dreamy effort from Alan Wynn.
They're definitely taking their time warming up their substitute and making sure that they're properly ready to enter the match. Unless there's a plan and there's a possibility that with a little tape job they can get Troyer back in here, which maybe that's what they're hoping for, being that he is a mainstay and kind of their rock solid in the center of the midfield.
Reed trying to send Maloto wide, too far for the South African. Been one of those nights so far for Nashville.
Yep.
Troyer still being worked out on the sideline. Remember, Richmond playing with 10 men right now, as Braden Troyer still trying to figure out if he can continue in this game.
Well, and this is an opportunity for Nashville to take advantage of this. You know, they're 11 players versus 10 right now, again, stating the obvious, but how about a sense of urgency and how about exploiting that missing piece that's in the midfield for Richmond right now? And here comes their sub.
It's going to be Mikael Williams momentarily. Williams normally a center back. Interesting to see where they put him. This is neatly done. Davis, cross coming in, chance again. Important clearance. And it came from the center back, Milan Roberts.
That was a really good defensive play by Roberts, because looming right behind him was Tucker Hume with a great timed run. The ball was driven in, and that's excellent defending.
So Richmond was able to make the substitution. Substitution presented by White Claw. Mikael Williams in, Trinidad and Tobago player. Coca-Cola corner kick for Nashville. Headed along and pumped away. It was not Spangenberg who left. It was...
No, it wasn't.
That would be the goalkeeper for Richmond.
That.
It was Troyer.
That would be monumental.
Goalkeeper tonight for Richmond is Trevor Spangenberg, 27-year-old from Arizona. Interestingly enough, both goalkeepers in this game graduated from Missouri State University. It's Matt Pickens and Trevor Spangenberg. The Bears, I believe. Tierpak got chopped down in the midfield. Play on deemed. Reed went down as well. Apologize, that was Alan Wynn.
And I think Wynn
unimpressed was Marcos de Oliveira.
Yeah, Wynn added a little bit of theatrics to that.
Here's Fernando on the other end. Driven and deflected again. It was tricky for Pickens, who once again is sure-handed.
Fernando is just proven that he's active on his right and active on his left, and he's had the ability to strike both quality balls onto frame.
Quick reminder to the fans at home that tonight's match presented to you by Pinnacle Financial. To the midfield, it's Davis. Back spinning ball was cut out as far as LaGrassa. Taking it in for Reed. Might get a second chance at it. Instead pulled away by Raul Gonzalez. Played his college soccer in the Volunteer State at Memphis. Several times when players are playing in college over the summer, they'll go play for what's called a PDL team, Professional Development League. And Gonzalez went and played for the Des Moines club. And actually several Nashville players have played for the same PDL team, not at the same time as Gonzalez, including Matt LaGrassa and Justin Davis in their time.
In Des Moines.
I believe the Des Moines Menace.
I bet that was a hot ticket in town.
Nashville fidgeting with the lock. Hard time cracking. It's been a very hunkered back Richmond 11.
So the changes that Richmond made when they took Troyer off was they moved Umar from center back into the center of the midfield. They took Williams and entered him in as a right back, and then they moved Shinaski into the center back role. So they made 3 changes with 1 substitution because of an injury.
Visitors into the attacking end. Gonzalez. The first involvements for Williams. Bolduc refines Williams. Nashville choosing how high they want to push up the pitch. Get an inside look at life on and off the field from a player's perspective every Wednesday evening in the latest edition of From the Pitch on USLsoccer.com. Ronnie, so far this one is not going to go directly to the USL Classic channel.
Not much for the highlight reel in this one so far today. It has been lethargic, with both coaches showing frustration on the sideline.
Now figuring out the reason why, you'd imagine the quick turnaround.
Sure.
And then what is Richmond playing for here? You know, they're very far out of playoff position. It's very unrealistic that they could claw close to the 8th spot, which would be a playoff position. They're on the road. You know, if you're a visitor like Richmond, are you playing for the win? Are you playing for the draw? What do you want coming here on the road against Nashville after losing a game 6-0? I want your answer after this cross comes in. It'll be a corner, so go ahead, Parker.
Well, I think respect. I think what you have to do is stop being labeled as the team that just got a beat down of 6-0 in your last match. So you've got to come out with a vengeance and to make a point, one, and then two, to raise confidence in your own ability to compete within the conference. You know, back-to-back losses with a great deal of goals being given up is never where you want to be as a club.
Another Coca-Cola corner kick for Nashville. It's met by Williams. Now Richmond a chance to spring the counterattack. Gonzalez. Last man back was Melodo for Nashville. Alan Wynn has recovered to provide support. Williams service. Couldn't get past Melodo. Neatly done by Melodo. Nashville wants to run the other way. You can hear the supporters picking up the volume, trying to will their team forward. You hear Gary Smith saying, go down the other side. The easiest ball from Kimura. And folded arms from Gary Smith.
Actually, I feel quite sure that we're relieved to know that he's not mic'd right now.
We are on public television.
And although it would be very entertaining for all of us, and probably language no worse than we hear on the rap stations these days, with all the jams that the kids are listening to, but we're a family sport.
Can Kimura trace this down? Answer is no. Not only are we on locally here in Nashville and on ESPN Plus across the world, also want to say hello to our TV audience in Richmond on WTVR Channel 6.
Shout out to Richmond. My aunt lives in Richmond. Did you know that?
I do now.
I am fond of that city.
Great food, great art.
Good universities. So good education you can receive in town. Good USL program.
Soccer fans, pick up the latest NSC gear today online at shop.nashvillesc.com or come by our team store located at 650 Rundle Avenue. Michael Reed has one possession back in the midfield. So much talk heading into this game about how badly Nashville needs 3 points. Right now, 39th minute, still scoreless. Still trying to find a way in front against a very resolute Richmond team.
You know, while I appreciate the patience in the build-up in their attack, I'd love to see some urgency out here right now. I would love to see a change in the pace or someone taking a player on or something crafty and creative. Something that's inspiring, that will just light this stadium up.
David Bulow, Richmond manager, right in the ear of the fourth official. You can see Arnataha on the sideline, not too far away. she can get some intel on the discussions between Bulow and the assistant referee.
Well, here's a telling tale of the look of the game right now. There's a stat called aerial duels won, and right now Richmond has won 80% of those aerial duels, which means that they are winning the 50-50 balls consistently.
Here the players imploring Alan Wynn to go at his defender. I think it's Bradley Bourgeois shouting from behind Wynn, saying, go at him, go at him.
I agree. I think anytime Wynn gets that ball at his feet and he's faced up 1 versus 1, he is so quick off the dribble and he's so explosive facing up. He's an incredibly dangerous threat for Nashville, and I think Bradley Bourgeois got it right. I think he should continue to encourage Wynn to face up and take on.
Alan Wynn clocked it over 20 miles per hour at top speed this season. Regarded as probably the fastest player on the team. Lebo Meloto trying to get it onto a shooting foot. Lebo Meloto! Finally a spark for Nashville. Been a while since they've had a shot on goal. Wasn't particularly threatening for Trevor Spangenberg.
Routine save.
Interestingly enough, Spangenberg and Chris Tierpak were once teammates at Chivas USA in MLS. Chivas now defunct. Nashville has worked it wide to Tierpak. Bearing down in the attacking third, trying to take Williams off the dribble. Lofted cross. Appeals for a deflection. It'll be a corner kick for Nashville.
Tierpak took a little bit of a heavy touch, but a good defensive slide earns him the corner kick.
It is the 6th Coca-Cola corner kick of this first half. Back out to the sender, Michael Reed. That's a well-whipped ball, Tucker Hume! They have found the spark, and they have lit this game on fire. 1-0 to Nashville. And the circus in full swing.
With Big Bird leading the charge. Here it is. Let's take a look at this. What a great ball by Michael Reed. The defense is stepping a bit. Tucker Hume gets in on that back post, gets on the inside of Shanaski, and at 6'6", he's just no match on that far post. But what a beautiful ball that was driven to that far post from Michael Reed. And look at Nashville, still recovering to get back behind the ball. I think they're going to exhale a bit. Here it is from a different angle. Comes straight across. There's Tucker on that back post.
It is the goal presented by Dex Imaging, and it comes from Tucker Hume, his 2nd goal of the season. Turned 25 years old on Wednesday. On a night where Nashville really didn't have much going, Hume comes into the rescue. Richmond trying to answer back here, though. Bradley Bourgeois able to stymie a cross that was destined for Luis Fernando. Stay up to date with all of the best from social media around the USL by watching Off the Post with Kelsey Steele every Friday evening on the USL social media channels. Well, Ronnie, it is a vital goal in a game where Nashville absolutely needs 3 points. They're hungry for playoff position. A win tonight, and they would be 7th in the USL table when they go to sleep. There wasn't much magic in the air, and somehow Tucker Hume claws out a goal. Now the onus is on Richmond to go forward.
Execution, you know, quite frankly, now Nashville's got a 1-goal lead. They're 2 minutes from halftime. They can exhale a bit, rest their legs, keep the ball moving, and just really pay attention to the quality of their play and their touches.
There is the Big Bird sign as the nickname of Tucker Hume. The long story is Hume went to Cincinnati for a preseason game. Nashville was wearing their gold jerseys. Cincinnati said they're yellow. And they said Tucker Hume was flopping around like a big bird. And Therefore, he got the moniker Big Bird. When he scored against Cincinnati, he actually flapped his wings. That was his last goal until tonight, as Hume picks up his second of the campaign.
I love that he embraces the name.
How does that goal change the dynamic of this game?
Well, I think, you know, Nashville can exhale a bit. They may have had a little bit of a rough start to the half, but now they're in control. They've got the goal. It's almost halftime. And to be quite honest, they survived the first 45 minutes of this half. But simply just keeping the ball moving and settling into a rotation. And when they had the opportunity to convert on a set piece, they executed. And that's really what the game's about. You know, they really are just, nothing has to be flashy today. It just has to be 3 points. Let's keep that in mind as we move forward. As long as they keep scoring goals and not giving them up, they're going to get a win today, no matter what happens in between the stripes.
Just about 30 seconds to go in this half. 1 minute of stoppage time has been added. It's a meaty challenge from Bradley Bourgeois. Be a corner kick for Richmond. Now the players can't see how much time is added on. All they can see in the clocks around the stadium is 45 minutes. So they don't know that they're here in their final ticks of the 1 minute of added time. But nevertheless, Richmond throwing numbers forward, treating this as their last opportunity. Corner comes in, Pickens off his line. Wynn just has to bash this into the night, and that should end the first half. David Buelow, the Richmond manager, tracing that ball all the way down. You know he wants in on this game. Gary Smith will take his team into the locker room, leading 1-0. The goal from Tucker Hume is the difference. After 45 minutes of soccer, Matt Pickens, a half and a clean sheet so far for the goalkeeper. It is our halftime presented to you by Nissan. Plenty in our halftime, but Ronnie, your impressions of that first half?
A little bit lackluster, but effective. They're going into halftime 1-0 up, and that's what they need. Actually, I think that might have saved their halftime speech.
Well, Nashville still with work to do. They need 3 points tonight to vault themselves back into playoff position. They have Richmond on the ropes. Nashville looking for its 8th win at home this year at First Tennessee Park. Our halftime report presented by Nissan is coming up. Stats, highlights, and a whole lot more when we come back from Music City.
Can you hear me? Okay, sorry. Where do you want me? Okay, and how much time do I have? Okay. Over the last week, Nashville SC has asked everyone to share their soccer story in anticipation of another memorable moment in the club's history coming next week. We've got some to show you right now.
Story was the same with everybody that we met with. This is a great city. We work together. People love living here. They love working here. We get things done. And we promised you, they said at the time, that Nashville would be a great MLS market. So, what does that mean? It means that I'm here today to announce that Nashville will be Major League Soccer's 24th team, and I want to invite...
Win running on, square ball, Mensah, is this the moment? It is! First goal!
Absolutely brilliant.
Remember the name, Papa Mensah!
And in closing, I want to recognize that Nashville is a place where we now speak over 100 different languages. But guess what? We all speak soccer. And we're about to become a lot more fluent in the language of the beautiful game. Thank you, Nashville. We have done something very special. Thank you.
I shared mine on my Instagram, and I'll tell you it's not that flattering, but you can go and share your own with the hashtag #MySoccerStory. And we'll be back after this with the first half stats.
Weekday soccer at First Tennessee Park. Nashville SC leading 1-0 over the Richmond Kickers as we welcome you into our halftime presented by Nissan. I'm John Freeman, joined by Ronnie Woodard. And Ronnie, let's go ahead and pull up our first half stats. It wasn't the prettiest first half for either side, but Nashville able to chisel out a goal from Tucker Hume.
Execution. And, you know, something that they're not showing up here on this is Tucker Hume had a total of 7 touches the entire first half, but yet he scored a goal. He had 5 total passes, 7 total touches, and a goal. That's just flat-out execution in the final third, and that's being advantageous inside of your goal.
Now, there's a stat off screen that we talked about in the first half, Ronnie, the duels. That's when a ball is contested, which team wins it. So far in duels, Richmond has won 70% of the duels in this game. What does that tell you about the first half?
I think they had a little bit more of a sense of urgency to begin with. They came out with a little bit more bite than Nashville did. Nashville was a little complacent, a little comfortable in their shape, and they were just trying to really maintain possession of the ball and didn't play with as much urgency as really Richmond came out with. And thus they won most of the 50-50 battles.
Still 45 minutes of soccer to go from First Tennessee Park. It is a hot and muggy night here in Music City. Let's take a look at the rest of the weather for the evening and beyond with our friends from Fox 17.
Well, hey there, soccer fans. Skywatch 17 meteorologist Colleen Milbury. Look at that drive home forecast for this evening's game. It is a warm one. It's sticky outside with those dew points hanging out near 70 degrees, making it feel like it's even warmer than 84 this evening. As we look ahead to the forecast for this week, it is still going to be warm. Temperatures hanging out near 90 degrees. We will introduce a shower and thunderstorm chance as we go into Wednesday. Not tonight, though. So for this evening, good luck and let's go Nashville.
Looks like summer in Middle Tennessee. Thank you, Colleen. We will head to break. We come back. Our first half highlights. Nashville looking for all 3 points tonight against the Richmond Kickers. Back at First Tennessee Park. It is a weeknight. I think they might go home a little bit early in this one as Nashville leading 1-0 over the Richmond Kickers as we welcome you back at our halftime presented by Nissan. I'm John Freeman, joined by former Vanderbilt soccer coach Ronnie Woodard. Been a tough and rugged half. That's the word that we decided on talking during the commercials. Let's go ahead and pull up our first half highlights. And, well, Richmond came out into this game swinging early in this one, Ronnie.
Oh, they sure did. Troyer gets the first look. He strikes a great ball on frame off of his right foot. It gets deflected, but Pickens had to change direction. Look at the bend that hit on that. He struck it well. And then you get up, and it followed up with Fernando striking a ball from distance, coming off the dribble onto his left foot. And again, a really good strike and a great save by Matt Pickens.
Nashville did build pressure as the half went on. They swung in corner kick after corner kick. Eventually, it led to a Tucker Hume goal, but first couple opportunities for Chris Tierpak in his first start.
Yeah, and here's the goal. So Michael Reed serves into the back post, and Big Bird, affectionately. Tucker Hume finds the back of the net with that looming 6'6" physique of his. He rises up to the occasion and nails it home. Perfect execution by our big guy.
There is Tucker Hume. It was his second goal of the season. He almost always seems to score in the big games. His first goal came against FC Cincinnati on the road. His second one tonight against Richmond. And right now, as we pull up the standings, that goal is a massive step for Nashville. These were the standings coming into this game. Nashville below the playoff dividing line, below Ottawa via a tiebreaker. Were they to win tonight, well, you can see it right there, they would jump both Ottawa and New York up to 7th place. They would go to sleep in playoff position.
Again, really, there is no option but 3 points tonight for Nashville. You can feel it in the air. I'm sure they're going to come out inspired this half. They're 45 minutes plus any additional time away from making a jump above the line, which is what you're striving for at this part of the year.
North Carolina FC also surging. So Nashville not only looking above them in the table, but also behind. We've got a big crucial matchup with 2 North Carolina opponents coming up, Charlotte first and then NCFC, both on the road. Those are the next 2 matches for Nashville, but they have to take care of business tonight against a Richmond squad that has just 2 wins in its last 14 games. Based on statistical trends, you've got to be feeling good if you are Nashville. When Nashville has scored first this season, they are undefeated. They've scored first 15 times. They've won 12 of those games. They've tied 3 of them. And already, Gary Smith bringing some extra fortification into his midfield. It's Bolu Akinyodi in right out of the gates with the locker room switch. It's our substitution presented by White Claw. Still awaiting word on who he took out. And it's Chris Tierpak. So Tierpak the winger. And instead, in his place now, a mountain of a midfielder, Bolu Akinyodi, typically is parked right in the middle of a pitch. You've got to go around him. You can't go through him. Little defensive stopper for Nashville.
So it looks like coach has gone with the reliable defensive presence of Reed and Akinyodi, and then he's moved Melodo wide into this attack with LaGrassa sitting on top of Reed and Akinyodi.
To my untrained eye, is there a formation change at all, Ronnie, or is it just personnel change?
I think it's a personnel change. You could see it right there. I think Melodo, now I'm going to watch for a minute and see where Melodo's starting position is and to see if they've gone into a 4-4-2. That would be the only difference that I would see. But I believe they're still in a 4-2-3-1. Melodo has just been moved onto the right flank.
Kosuke Kimura, intrepid outside back, able to earn the Coca-Cola corner kick for Nashville. Kimura, the first Japanese-born player in MLS, one of the trusted swordsmen for Gary Smith. He's followed him all around the country, Colorado, Atlanta, and now Nashville to play for the English skipper. Corner kick sent in. It's driven towards Bradley Bourgeois! His first goal for Nashville SC. And on a critical night, Nashville strikes again. It was his time. The Dex imaging goal.
Michael Reed to Bradley Bourgeois, and he just flat out jumped him. Look at the ups that he has. He attacks the ball, gets great contact. That's a fantastic way to start the half. Whatever Coach Smith said at halftime, I think inspired this group, which is what we were looking for.
Two-headed goals for Nashville SC. And will that open the floodgates? Tucker Hume in the first half. And Bradley Bourgeois, who we had talked about all season. He had just narrowly missed some headers. Been so close on some set-piece opportunities. He was finally due. He saved his goal for a crucial match. It is a back-breaking goal for Richmond.
The one way you don't want to come out of the locker room at halftime is to give up a goal right at the very beginning. And here it is one more time. Another great ball by Michael Reed, but Bradley just out-jumped the Richmond defender. And it was just sheer will. And his technical ability in the air, along with his explosiveness ability to jump, just makes him so superior on any type of set piece. And let's not forget the quality of Michael Reed's balls that he's putting into the box.
Tucker Hume has extracted possession at the feet of Shanovsky. Melodo. Busting run on the right wing. Deflected cross and back post. And by Williams. Covering cover was Reed, the captain. Now Nashville has Richmond pinned back. Boys in blue on the attack.
I like that entry ball by Bolu.
LaGrassa. Deflected again. Another Coca-Cola corner kick. Keep up to date with news, live game updates, and highlights from around the league 24/7 by following @USL Soccer on all social media platforms. Corner kick number 8 for Nashville.
I like that three-man combo we just saw. Bolu had patience. He found the feet of Tucker Hume at the highest point, who laid a first-time ball into LaGrassa for a first-time strike at about 18, 20 yards away. Different than the normal flank play that we see from Nashville.
Near post this time, flicked along and nearly tapped in by Hume. It was a doorstep delivery for Hume, just couldn't track it fast enough and get his leg out there. Skipped off the head of a teammate.
He was just a bit off balance. He lunged back and tried to get there, but most of his weight was going to his left and the ball took a slight deflection onto his right side. So as you can see, Matt Pickens knows that Nashville's in complete control of the clock right now. A 2-goal lead, 50 minutes into the match. He can dictate the tempo of what's going to happen.
Supporters starting to come alive at First Tennessee Park. Lots been asked of them this week. Game on Saturday night, council meeting, which they completely packed last night. Come back out here on Tuesday night. Get a bit of a rest here as Nashville will go on the road for a solid 2 weeks.
Well, and they have new outfits tonight too. I've noticed the addition of some very brightly colored wigs.
Wonder why.
That
Here's Melodo.
Resemble clowns. They entered to a new song today. I believe there was a circus song that was being played as they entered the stadium. And I think they may have found a new nickname. And I think that it's what's inspiring them tonight. My question is, are they all going to work tomorrow morning?
Of course they are.
Because they are working hard right now in this game. I think they have some new songs too, John.
Always inventing new ways to support their team. They love when Nashville attacks towards them. Spangenberg has to claim this.
I don't know if they saw it on the video, but after Bradley scored his goal, he went straight over and started beating on that drum, which he does at home after every home game when they win.
Select is the official soccer ball of the USL. For the latest Select products and special offers, please visit www.selectsportsamerica.com.
Shriver showing a little bit of energy there, trying to close down, put some pressure on Nashville as they're keeping possession, and he earned his team a throw-in from his effort.
All right, now flip the script. If you're Richmond, you've given up 8 straight goals in the last 2 games without an answer. How do you solve this problem? They are leaking scores.
Well, tonight you have to stop set pieces because both goals for Nashville scored on corner kicks, or a result of a corner kick in some way, shape, or form. It was the first corner kick that Michael Reed served in the second ball on. But they're set pieces that they're giving up, and they're giving free services, and they're not tracking very well in the box.
Kosuke Kimura has found inroads in the right channel. Lofted service over the head of Trevor Spangenberger. Nashville keeps very detailed fitness statistics, and they track them throughout the half and halftime, and it informs their substitutions at halftime as well. Renata Taha was talking with Stacey Daniels, the fitness coach for Nashville.
Yeah, so I talked to Stacey during the halftime, and of course the most distance covered is our forward Alan Wynn, and he's also tied with Lebo Maloto for being the fastest two up top. But it's Matt LaGrassa that's the workhorse tonight, moving the most, the highest number of sprints, and he's being the most effective.
No surprises there, Ronnie?
No surprise.
Matt LaGrassa, the engine, has a clear foul via set piece for Richmond right at the edge of the 18, and a yellow card coming out. If I'm not mistaken, that yellow was given to Justin Davis. And if it is to Justin Davis, that means he is suspended for Nashville SC's next match due to yellow card accumulation. There's the tug from Davis. And Nashville will be without Justin Davis on their trip to Charlotte. He knew it right there when the yellow card came out too.
That's a blow. You know, Davis is such a hard-nosed defender. It seemed like he just clicked off for a second there, and all he was really focused on was making sure that the ball and the man didn't get past him in that situation. And unfortunately, now Nashville is going to be without him. 5
yellow cards is the limit in the USL. Once you hit 5, you have to sit a game. Brian Shriver standing over the set piece. Rolls it short. Gonzalez teeing up the shot. That was deflected on the way, and it could have been a much more tricky result instead of flat-footed save for Matt Pickens.
Here comes the counter.
A deep bomb downfield connects with Lebo Maloto. Turning on the Jets is Wynn. Returns it back towards Maloto. Wynn went down. One of the penalty isn't going to get it. One back by Akinyoti. Relentless pressure from Fernando forces Nashville to go backwards. Move upfield with Maloto. Kimura with an acre of space. Good service. What a goal! The route is on! Matt LaGrassa, 3-0 to Nashville!
There it is. Kimura delivers a near post service, and it's Matt LaGrassa who loves that near post run, getting his left foot on it and redirecting it past Spangenberg.
Matt LaGrassa with his second USL goal for Nashville.
I suspect we're going to see a few substitutions in. Rest some legs. There it is. What a great redirect. Never broke his stride, opened his hips, took it off of his left foot, redirected it, and put it to the far post. Excellent, excellent finish by Matt LaGrassa, and a quality service from Kosuke.
And Richmond has come unglued. They have now conceded 9 straight goals without an answer, going back to their 6-0 loss to Louisville. They search for it again, though. Fernando is cross-wiped by Akinyoti. Final clearance coming from Maloto.
You know, if we talk about the build-up to that last goal, if you think about it, it began with a counterattack from a set piece, and the counterattack was foiled, but Bolu Akinyoti did such a good job of winning the ball that came out and maintaining possession, and he turned, he got the ball, switched the point of attack, and then they added in Kosuke Kimura on the opposite side, running the right flank, and that then opened up for the runners to get into the box. So Bolu really kept that ball alive and had enough composure to step on it, play it back through the midfield, and the ball got switched to the opposite side, thus unbalancing that Richmond defense. That was really a good build-up and great patience by Nashville.
Nashville SC's next home game will be on Tuesday, September 18th at First Tennessee Park against the Tampa Bay Rowdies. Single game tickets are available online at NashvilleSC.com. It is a set piece for Nashville in the 59th minute. They've been so dangerous on set pieces tonight. Michael Reed Reed has been peppering in the services really from the opening whistle. Hume! It's 4! They are a pack of coyotes on the hunt again, and Nashville is taking it to Richmond.
Again, a set-piece service by Michael Reed. That's his 3rd assist of the day. So Nashville scored 4 goals, and he's had 3 assists, all coming off of almost a dead ball service from Michael Reed. And there's Tucker Hume, again, 6'6", unopposed inside of the box, and puts that ball home. Execution, execution, execution for Nashville.
It is the goal presented by Dex Imaging. The supporters are going to run out of smoke at this rate. 61st minute.
We're starting to cough up here in the press box.
It is the first 4-goal game for Nashville. In club history, you are witnessing the highest scoring game in Nashville SC history.
Glad to be in here witnessing with you.
And Tucker Hume joins Lebo Maloto, a category of Nashville SC players to have scored 2 goals in 1 game. It was Lebo Maloto who had 2 against Louisville way back in the season. Richmond going to make a substitution. Giuseppe Gentile in, and Greg Bame will leave. Some words between manager David Bulow and Bame. It's our substitution presented by White Claw. Well, Ronnie, it was nervy for Nashville in the first 30 minutes of this game. You wondered, would this be a disastrous night, a game where they had to have 3 points to jump back into playoff position. Richmond had some good looks early. It was stale and stagnant, and suddenly Nashville has exploded to life.
Well, you know, I have to tell you, after spending this season with Coach Smith, I believe in what he's doing. I believe he's inspiring to his team. I believe he's a great tactical coach. And I had no doubt in my mind that halftime that team was going to regroup and they were going to come out differently in this second half. And he's proved us to be right. Coach Smith does a great job leading this team, and this team believes in him and his leadership, and it shows with how they step onto the field.
Quick reminder to fans at home that this match is presented to you by Pinnacle Financial. Maloto finding Kamira has been spectacular in this half, moving this team forward. Akinyoti, excuse me, that's Maloto. Combining with Hume. Nashville prodding away. So Richmond has brought in Giuseppe Gentile, a forward, taking out Bame, who played as midfield. David Bulow on record is quoted as saying, nobody wants to watch a defensive game. When asked about Richmond's style, so they're still looking for a goal in this one. Supporters still giving it to Trevor Spangenberg. Not sure what the goalkeeper did to them.
I wonder what happened back there. I'm sure if you read social media later, there'll be some stories. Now here's what you have to hope if you're Nashville. A team like Richmond that's coming off of a 6-goal loss, and then now they're down 4 goals. Hopefully it doesn't get chippy, and you don't want to run the risk of injury due to ego, right? And so you've got to make sure that you keep the ball moving, you keep the ball hot, and you keep Richmond away from dangerous opportunities where they can inflict any type of frustration foul.
Fernando Gentile, back heel. This is neatly done for Richmond. Sliding challenge was whiffed on back to Gentile. Covering was Akinyode.
Again, you have to respect the game of Fernando. Every time he gets the ball, he's very dangerous. He's quick off the dribble. He can strike the ball with his left and his right foot.
In the end, easily claimed by Matt Pickens. He was seeking his 12th clean sheet of the season. About 25 minutes to go.
Good little deflection, came out, punched the ball by Pickens, but he didn't quite clear that first line of defense, and thus the ball came back in, but it was easily picked up by him.
Melodo weaving his way through traffic. Knows where that ball was destined. It's a clear handball on Richmond. It'll be Nashville kick. And now, Ronnie, this game can serve a whole different purpose for Nashville. You have the 3 points pretty secure at this juncture of the game. Now are there players that can really start gaining some confidence, hitting the back of the net. One of them would be Lebo Melodo, a player who's on pace for his highest scoring year in his career. Had 7 goals for Swope Park last year. He's got 5 goals so far this season. The fans chanting at Trevor Spangenberger, the goalkeeper for Richmond, saying, "You're no Pickens." He did go to the same college, though. Kamira.
Well, in my personal opinion, there aren't many Matt Pickens in the USL. He's just a tremendous goalkeeper and a great leader.
Matt Pickens.
There's only one Matt Pickens.
Can't make it to the next match? Head to one of our 38 Middle Tennessee pub partner locations. Official pubs of Nashville SC are the perfect place to grab a pint, talk soccer, and watch every match of the 2018 season with fellow supporters. For a list of locations and more information, visit NashvilleSC.com. Our town, our club, and our pubs. Nashville buzzing. 3 second-half goals. Now Gentile in a foot race with Liam Doyle. Won by the man from the Isle of Man, a small island off the coast of the United Kingdom. It's Liam Doyle's hometown, or homeland. One of the richest countries in the world. Also one of the least populated. Here's Wynn. He's got room to roam. Wynn trying to turn past his defender Roberts, whose change was cleared out by Spangenberger.
That's a solid. That's a solid body of Roberts there for Wynn to try to get around.
White Claw substitution for Nashville. It's London Woodbury who will come in, and Bradley Bourgeois will come out. This is a luxury for Nashville in this route. Bradley Bourgeois, who's had hamstring issues earlier this season, missed a couple games after pulling his hamstring against Cincinnati. He will exit, and London Woodbury will come in. Very nice for Nashville to be able to rest Bourgeois after he scores a goal and get him prepared for the upcoming match on Saturday against Charlotte. Woodbury could very well feature in that game because Justin Davis will not be eligible for it. Well, yellow card accumulation via yellow card here in the second half tonight.
Yeah, I think he's the logical decision moving forward. If Coach Smith decides to play in a 4-back, it's going to be Woodbury. If he goes in a 3-back, then, you know, is it Koske? Is it Woodbury? Who knows?
Gonzalez. Richmond completely shut down this half. Fernando, empty step over. Williams, curling shot just wide. Threatening the clean sheet of Pickens. Another substitution presented by White Claw on the way. Neil Lavati preparing to enter, and he will replace Raul Gonzalez. 23-year-old exits in his place. A man that is 8 years older in Lavati. Journeyman of a player, his 8th team in 9 years. Was actually a former teammate of Justin Davis at Minnesota United. Lavati, as Gonzalez's night is done.
So substitutions are now complete for Richmond. The 11 you see on the field will be the same one that they end with. Nashville still has one left. So let's talk about his warm-up. So
he was a great player for the Kickers during his
obviously,
career. 45 goals.
He's still incredibly athletic because he was out training with the team when he was warming him up. He had the bands out. He was doing all of the mobility work. He was doing all of the stretching. He was breaking into a sweat. He was doing the short explosive sprints, and then he came back out for the anthem, and he was dressed in street clothes. But I will say that's the first, I think we have a look at it for you right now, but I think that's one of the first coaches that I've seen that has genuinely been an active part of the warm-up.
You would have thought he was a player.
I did. It took me a few minutes to sort out, and I was like, that's the coach. And here he is, looking all sharp dressed on the sideline.
Supporters enjoying themselves. This is right now, as it would stand, the biggest margin for Nashville SC versus an opponent. Now Nashville did have a couple games where they scored 3 goals, most notably in USL action at home against Penn FC, but it was a 3-1 game that was much tighter than this one.
Look at LaGrossa still doing that work and putting pressure on Spangerberg with that ball that came into him. He didn't have to do that type of work, but he is just such a box-to-box player. He's a motor and an engine in that center of the midfield for Nashville. Nifty touch by the ref. Kept possession for Nashville on a 1-2.
Here's Woodbury. Meloto. Kimura has been adventurous all evening. He's earned the Coca-Cola corner kick. Kosuke Kimura. You would know he's 34 years old. The stories about his workout regimen is that for every hour he puts in working out, he spends an equal amount of time recovering. So if he goes and practices for an hour, he'll stretch for an hour or take an ice bath for an hour.
He is a tremendous...
Talk to the coaches, they say he's 34 with the body of a 24-year-old.
Oh, without a doubt. Look at that physical specimen right there. And he obviously knows what it takes to keep himself refreshed. And his body working at that top level.
There's a whistle here from Marcos de Oliveira. There might have been a clash of heads in the box. And anytime there's a head injury in soccer, you see Hume slapping hands with Austin Yearwood. Anytime there's a suspected head injury, the official is allowed to immediately stop play.
Yeah, the concussion is such a hot topic right now. And you know, for those of you that aren't really sure, the concussion is not actually from the blow. It's actually from the blow moving and shaking the brain within the skull, and that's what causes the long-term effects or the short-term effects or the concussion in a person. So it's not doesn't immediately have to happen. So they're very cautious these days, watching all of the potential head injuries.
Does draw a water break. The medical assistance was provided by Vanderbilt Health. Watch 12 in blue. Yeah, he turns right into Austin Yearwood.
And I actually think he got it on the cheek. I think Hume took it on the cheek.
Well, Hume is 6 inches taller than Yearwood.
One water bottle was not good enough. He had both water bottles going, double fisting the water before he re-enters. Good display of sportsmanship. Return the ball back. Richmond all the way back to the furthest point, which was Matt Pickens, who then starts the ball again for Nashville.
Well, it's going to be a tough vote, Ronnie. It's time to vote for today's Budweiser Man of the Match. Find the poll at the official Nashville SC Twitter account at Nashville SC. We'll take your vote now, partner.
Well, you know, I know everybody likes the goal scorer, and Tucker Hume is logical having 2. But let's talk about, without the balls that were served in from Michael Reed and his 3 assists tonight, the score would not be where it is. So Michael Reed's execution today.
Oh, Hume has run on!
Now, I would have changed it if he just got a hat trick. I would have changed to Tucker. But I will say, 2-goal night for Tucker Hume, I think is fantastic, and I am great with that vote. But I do think some sort of praise for Michael Reed and the production and the execution of the quality ball that he's putting into the net for his teammates to score deserves a slight nod.
How many times have we seen Tucker Hume latch on to an over-the-top ball? One, and it's this right here.
He got him behind.
Probably his easiest look of the night.
Almost, some would say, unopposed when he was going to goal.
Quick reminder to the fans at home that this match is presented to you by Pinnacle Financial. Nashville SC rolling at First Tennessee Park. They led 1-0 at halftime. It is now 4-0 to the home side. Richmond stuck with just 21 points this season, good for 14th in the USL East. Michael Reed's 3 assists tonight, tied for the best passing performance in the USL this season. I want to find out how much influence you have. I don't think a 2-goal scorer, really even a Budweiser Man of the Match vote, has never been won by a player that hasn't scored a goal in a game that there has been a goal. So,
and I get it. The
see
world,
how much you can sway the vote, partner.
No, the world loves the goal scorer, but everyone, ooh, that's a dangerous ball that was played back. I'm not sure why Gentile stopped on that. He could have put Pickens under a lot more pressure than what he just did. Yeah, it's no secret that I think that Michael Reed's one of the rocks in the midfield and kind of an unsung hero. And so the fact that he could get on the board with 3 assists and, you know, and tie for the USL best in one match, I think deserves a look. And maybe some consideration from our Twitter fans that are voting right now.
Percussive passing in the midfield by Nashville. Oh, how neatly worked this is. No one home on the back post. The cross came in from Kimura. Justin Davis can't save it from going out of bounds. Another substitution presented by White Claw on the way. Brandon Allen replaced Matt LaGrassa. It's a good opportunity for Allen, who's struggled to find the back of the net. Real workman-like performance from Matt LaGrassa. Always inspires his team when he's on the field. And for Allen, who has just 1 goal from the run of play in the last 14 games, Ronnie, he is a vital piece of this team heading forward in this postseason push. I feel like if he can get one tonight, the floodgates may open for the 2016 USL Rookie of the Year.
Yeah, there's plenty of time for Allen to get on the board, and Allen's just a great goal scorer. What's the best part of Allen's game is his timing of his runs inside of the box. He has fantastic ability to read service and to adjust the timing and the structure of his run as he's going into the box. Fernando with some fancy footwork again.
This is well worked by Richmond. Gentile on his horse. Pulls it to the top of the 18. That's snapped wide. It was Shriver, the team's leading scorer. It's been pretty bottled up tonight. Interesting note about Shriver. He scored in 7 games. Richmond has only won 1 of those games.
That is interesting. Nope.
So far, Nashville on the verge of what will be its 13th clean sheet of the season. They came in 2nd in the USL in clean sheets with 12 on the year.
I know Shriver has been a great goal scorer for Richmond. He scored 7 goals and had 7 assists. But really, Fernando has been very dangerous every time he's gotten the ball at his feet. He's creative, he's crafty, he was combining, he's got a quick release off the dribble. I imagine he's going to continue to develop into a really quite a good USL player.
Kimura puts his defender on ice skates. Cross comes in. It's met by Shinosky. Reed venturing forward. Flag stayed down as Hume was lurking. Tough night for Spangenberg.
Tough 2 nights for Spangenberg.
And now 10 goals against in his last 2 games combined. Gentile has been slipped through, trying to get it onto his right foot. Gotta love the effort.
I do.
Goodness gracious, they're down 4-0.
I do, and you know, they're not quitting. True credit to Richmond. They're still battling in that attacking third, and when they get the ball, they're going at goal very quickly. And let's talk for a second about Woodbury's his challenge right there. The timing of him going to ground was essential because Gentile could have very well have been in behind and going and having a look on frame, but by Woodbury gaining that inside positioning inside the box and knowing that angle and going to ground, that took him off of the game and thus kept him out of a dangerous space.
Richmond pushing forward, Fernando on the wing. Here's Mikael Williams, former MLS player. 38 games for the Colorado Rapids. That was after Gary Smith exited the Rapids post winning a MLS Cup. You know, I think there's a lot of teams around the league right now who had an eye on this game in the USL Eastern Conference. I think they had a rooting interest in Richmond. There's some teams that don't want Nashville in the playoffs, and I'll tell you why in just a second. Justin Davis trying to weave his way through the defense. He pulls on Williams for the foul. But going back to my point, Nashville right now, with this win, will move up to 7th in the USL Eastern Conference standings, which means if the season were to end today, they would play their first game in the playoffs on the road where they didn't make the playoffs. The top 4 host the first round, and then as the standings progress and as the playoffs progress, the highest seeded team in each matchup would host a game. But looking at Nashville, the top 5 teams in the USL East, Nashville has gotten a result, which means a tie or a win, on the road at every single one of them.
Yeah, I'm not sure anyone wants to see Nashville down the stretch. I think they're disciplined as a team. I think Coach Smith is an excellent coach, and he has his team very organized. And I think once, and maybe today is going to be a good indicator, once they figured out how to hit the back of the net consistently, right? Scoring goals is confidence, and it's repetition.
Gentile is onside, and he's denied by Pickens. A veto from the big goalkeeper. And the clean sheet stays preserved.
Played a short corner and played very quickly.
Richmond wants to get this back into a dangerous area. Shriver intercepted by Wynn. It's all happening in front of tonight's Ashton Real Estate attendance. That is 8,561. Very good crowd for a weeknight. Many of them have gone home, knowing that the result is secure. Matt Pickens keeping the clean sheet secure, and a little punch there at the end.
Well, you know, the
follow-up opportunity.
He read the first ball excellently, came out, made himself as big as he could, but the second save is what makes him special. His ability to get up and down as quickly as he just did and manage to punch that ball out of danger and stop Gentili from having a look on frame. It's just tremendous. I mean, I'm an enormous Matt Pickens fan. I love great goalkeeping, and Matt Pickens is at the top of this league without a doubt.
Fernando has put in a real courageous performance. Ronnie, next game for Nashville at Charlotte. On the road this season, Nashville has won just 2 games. Charlotte right now still lurking around close to the playoff position, but a win for Nashville could really put the Independents away. Eliminate one more candidate that they have to fight against here in the battle for USL playoff position.
That's a
Nashville
man
will
that
also go on the road to North Carolina FC. Team that they beat here on this field 1-0. That famous Ropapa Mensah goal was the winner in it. He almost fell out of the booth when he scored that goal.
I do think I yelped. I think there was a Twitter strand going on saying, but the female announcer, that yelp.
Never look at Twitter.
I know. I'm a glutton. They're just so entertaining.
That man's highlights are going to be all over Twitter feeds.
Listen, I'm a realist. I know that we can't win no matter what happens as a broadcast team. However, I do enjoy it. I love watching. What I really like is just watching the crowd and the community and the Nashville environment just blossom every single game. So it makes me want to read it and watch it a little bit more because it's just infectious and it's spreading like crazy.
Find Nashville SC on Twitter, Nashville SC. Many people did find that Twitter account and they put in their votes for the Budweiser Man of the Match. Voted on by you. It is number 12, Tucker Hume.
Fair enough. I tried.
Ronnie had
Michael Reed
lobbied hard for Michael Reed.
Michael Reed, if you're going to listen to this rebroadcast, or if Michael Reed's mom and dad are at home listening, or any of his family members, I put in a good, strong push for Michael Reed to be the man of the match.
It's always going to be the 2-goal scorer.
I
The
know.
3 assists, though, for Reed. A USL high this season amongst the league. That cross is sent into a dangerous spot. Was knotted wide. Head in his hands from a Richmond player. There's your man, Michael Reed, the captain.
My man of the match right there.
Came
3
in
assists.
to this game with 2 assists. Leaves it with 5 assists this season. He now matches Lebo Meloto with the most assists on the campaign with 5. It's interesting, ask Gary Smith who Michael Reed reminds him of you know, a big-time professional player, and he thought about it for a while. He said, well, the main attribute of Michael Reed is his consistency, and he brought up the name Michael Carrick, former England midfielder.
Tall order to be compared to Michael Carrick. It's excellent. That's an honor.
Of course, Gary would pick an English player.
Absolutely. Did you want to talk about the Man U season so far and their recent result against Tottenham?
You know, Bolu Akinyoti for Nashville is actually one of the leaders of the Manchester United fan club here in the United States. He is a diehard Man U supporter. So to save him on this broadcast when he watches the replay, I think we may need to avoid him.
Well, not a Taha. Another part of our broadcast team is a Tottenham fan, and a big one.
It's a blast. Pickens had to be sure about it.
Yeah, sympathy to the Man U supporters right now. It's been a rough start.
On a night where Nashville had to have 3 points, Gary Smith used the terminology must win. And Richmond came in one of the bottom teams in the USL, hemorrhaging goals. Gave up 6 against Louisville. He looked at it and said, well, Nashville's about to go on the road for 2 straight games. They have a home game here against Richmond. If they don't win this one, do they deserve to be in the playoffs? And the answer from the boys in blue tonight is an emphatic yes. They are a contender to make that top 8. They didn't just squeak by in this one. Absolutely devastating performance tonight from the home side. Thorough and authoritative.
I don't know if you noticed, but Nashville went into 2 banks of 4 and a 4-4-2 when they took LaGrassa out, and they brought in Allen.
And no stoppage time in this one needed. Nashville SC, its highest goal output of the season. They hang 4 on Richmond, and they take all 3 points at First Tennessee Park. Some relief, some excitement, and a whole lot of promise down the stretch for this season.
Look at Coach, still coaching.
Well, still plenty to unpack on this one from First Tennessee Park. Stats and highlights. We'll also take a look at the standings and show you what this 3 points does for Nashville in the USL Eastern Conference standings. But it's time to celebrate first. Nashville takes all 3 points. A dominant victory over the Richmond Kickers on a steamy Tuesday night in Music City. Scenes from the most dominant performance in Nashville SC's history. A 4-0 demolition of the Richmond Kickers. John Freeman and Ronnie Woodard on our post-game show. And Ronnie, let's dive right into our stats here at First Tennessee Park. It was pretty even to start, and then Nashville just pours it on. They get the goal from Tucker Hume, and then the floodgates opened, and all the stats skew to the boys in blue.
Yeah, they did such a good job of coming out organized and enthusiastic and very bright, as we talked about at the beginning of the game. They have to start and keep themselves on the front foot, and they did that. And they came out and they got a goal 2 minutes into the second half, and that just changed the dimension of the entire game.
Well, Nashville SC thanks our corporate partners, Nissan, Vanderbilt Health, Dex Imaging, Budweiser, Puckett's, Kroger, Heineken, Coca-Cola, MyTV30, Fox 17, and Pinnacle Financial. It's time to take a look at tonight's Pinnacle save of the game. It helped preserve the 12th clean sheet of the season for that man, Matt Pickens. Always goes over and talks to the fans. And well, where would this game have gone if he doesn't make this save early in the game? It could have very well been 1-0. Richmond would have totally changed the complexion of this contest.
Absolutely. The dynamic and the dimensions of the game would have completely changed. He's so quick. He loves a shutout, doesn't he? He does the work. He covers his goals. He tries on every ball. And, you know, the goalkeeper's job is to keep a team in the game and give their team a chance to win, right? By doing your job in the back and being consistent. And that man, Matt Pickens, at the top of the league, and rightfully so, he gives Nashville the confidence to be able to commit numbers going forward, knowing that they have Matt Pickens to secure that back line for them.
Well, that goalkeeper will go to bed tonight knowing that Nashville SC is back above the playoff dividing line. Let's pull up our standings in the USL Eastern Conference. Nashville came into this game 9th place in the USL East. They jump Ottawa, they jump New York. They are now just 2 points behind Indy 11. Could they put something together here going down the stretch? How far up this table could they go? Although the main priority right now is just staying above that line between 8 and 9. Got
to stay above that line. And, you know, they're only 2 points away from Indy. They're within striking distance of a lot of teams that are close to them. And there's a lot of games left in the season, but it's such a relief to see Nashville securely above the line for the first time in a few weeks.
Well, it's all smiles at First Tennessee Park. Ronnie, your final thoughts on this one? It's going to be a while before we do another game at First Tennessee Park. Nashville will go to Charlotte on Saturday. We don't broadcast that one. Our next broadcast will be North Carolina FC. Real quickly, partner, your thoughts on this one?
You know, scoring goals is fun. It was great. It was exciting. I think it's going to build confidence in this team. I think they're going to grow from this experience. They had to stretch themselves. They had to play 2 games in 4 days, and they had to get a performance, and they were under the gun tonight to get 3 points, and they performed.
Yeah, and Gary Smith said, no game is easy. You want to know what explains that statement even more? Louisville lost 4-1 to cellar dweller Toronto tonight at home.
It's those midweek games. They're difficult. The recovery and the intensity level and managing 2 different opponents within a 4-day span is very difficult for a team, and that's why what Nashville did tonight was tremendous.
Nashville takes care of business tonight. Tucker Hume, a 2-goal haul. He's joined in the goal-scoring category by Matt LaGrassa and Bradley Bourgeois. Nashville pours it on against Richmond, a 4-0 win for Nashville SC at home. They take all 3 points tonight at First Tennessee Park. For everybody involved in our broadcast, including my color analyst, Ronnie Woodard, I'm John Freeman saying so long from Nashville. Thank you so much for spending your Tuesday evening with us. We'll talk to you next time when Nashville is back on the pitch.
This copyrighted telecast of the United Soccer League may not be retransmitted, rebroadcast, or reproduced without the express written consent of the United Soccer League.